Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Pipe Bomb Sessions. This week, WWE went to Europe, and one of the first things I would like to touch base and congratulate is the Scottish Psychopath for becoming the new WWE Champion. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not heard already, they indeed pulled the trigger for Drew McIntyre to become the champion. The real question now lies, how long is Drew truly going to stay champion? I believe there's a lot of layers to that specific question in itself. I think that we really should I think we might get a little bit of a reign from Drew. I don't expect him to lose it until at least Mania, maybe even hold it for longer than Mania. I think this is the time. You gave Drew that big pop. Let him kind of control his destiny and hold on to that title and just, be the top dog that he's been trying to be for a few years now. And honestly, he's been a great heel all this time, too. He finally deserved a title and he got it, man. Question now is the interference of Jacob Fatu in that steel cage match. What does that mean? Are we going to find out who attacked Fatu? Is it just going to be as simple as, oh yeah, it was me, it was Drew McIntyre? In my opinion, I don't know. I think they could go a little bit further than that. However, let's just really see what they're trying to do. Maybe they kind of give a twist that Cody Rhodes attacked him. I'm not really sure, right? The whole Fatu situation was interesting because he prevented Drew from escaping, but then he turned his eyes and attacked Cody. So it's like, all right, is he here just to beat some people up? Are one of these guys his attackers? Is he just heated and just want to make a rampage on his return? I don't know, right? What I do know is, hey, at least the Samoan Werewolf is back. I believe that's going to be huge. Let's just say if Cody did indeed attack Fatu, maybe this is how you can get Roman Reigns involved. Maybe Reigns comes to the aid of Fatu, tells Cody, like, what the hell you doing? Cody, I know this is a long shot, but you never know. Maybe Cody has like a slight heel turn, if you want to say. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I think it's very much possible, for sure. However, what do I think is truthfully going to happen? I don't know about that. Like, man, Roman can get involved. I think this is going to really kind of go moving forward, this whole storyline with Cody, Fatu, and Drew involved. Of course, Drew, he may be distracted. He may be looking forward to his Royal Rumble opponent, who's going to be the winner of the 4 qualifying matches. We're going to go into a fatal 4-way, and from there, we're going to find out who the hell's going to face Drew at the Rumble. I'm looking forward to that. I think the dark horse winner of that is actually Sami Zayn. I think, maybe you give Sami Zayn the type of situation that you gave Cody. He goes in there, he has a shot, he tries to, win the damn title, ends up losing. Maybe you get a redemption arc. Of course, Saudi has next year's Mania. Maybe you go all the way around and have Sami kind of do a redemption story, similar to how Cody did a few years ago, right? That could be a thing that they want to do. Could not be a thing they want to do. But I think that's the right move to make, personally. Also, this also leaves Cody open and available. You do not need to run Cody versus Roman for a title. That is something important. As long as the story is there, those are two of the top stars. I think you could definitely run it regardless if either of them have a title or not. But that's, again, just my opinion. I think that things are going to be changing about how we are going to be running into the road of WrestleMania soon. Obviously, we have the Rumble, as I mentioned, coming up at the end of this month. And I don't know if it's just me, but why has WWE not announced any entries? Like, why are people just like, hey, we're not even talking about the Royal Rumble? Like, what? What is going on here? What, are we not having the Rumble this year or something? I'm just a little lost in that sense, Lost in the sauce, how they say. So, like, for me, what the freak is actually going on? You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. I believe that simple enough, we need to start getting the road to the Rumble started because that's going to kickstart the road to Mania. can we, like, where the Rumble's happening in about 2 weeks, I believe. 2 weeks time. Like, what are we doing? So hey, maybe they're gonna start just getting a jump started very quickly. I did hear a rumor that Saudi wasn't officially ready with their stadium that should be holding the Rumble. Now that I assume could be something that is affecting the timeline, and possibly that is why they're not saying anything. Not really sure, right? Like, it's just odd to me that they haven't really mentioned the Royal Rumble matches, anyone being like, hey, I'm gonna be in the Rumble, or declaring themselves. By this time, I fully expected someone to be at least declared, at least one person. We don't have a single entry official for the Rumble. And for me, that's very, very interesting. And why is it going about that type of way? I don't know. I have a feeling it could have to do with that stadium not being finished and not done. And if that is the case, man, they have a lot of work to do, and they have to speed things up because they are very well behind. I'm not sure what's gonna happen. So, hey, let's see how that goes. Of course, Monday Night Raw this week was a little bit earlier time when they were in Germany. We got a little bit more storylines in that sense, highlighted with the main event of Gunther versus Styles. Of course, I don't think that's going to be ending anytime soon because Styles had Gunther beat. Gunther tapped. The only thing was the ref didn't see it. For a second there, a lot of people didn't see it. They were like, what is Styles doing? Why did he just let go of the hold? But when you see a different camera angle, you see Gunther tapping out right there, right to Styles. So I see them running it back for sure. And maybe they delay it a little bit, build it up a little bit more, have the whole like, hey, you tapped type of deal, yada yada. I can see that being the case, but that is something definitely going forward is going to move it that way. Another thing, we saw new number one contenders for the women's tag titles. Rio is going to be facing Roxanne and Liv Morgan. That's right, the Judgment Day are back in the title picture. Very interesting that Liv backstage called out Balor at some point in the night, saying like, hey, what are you doing just being back here playing video games? You're not taking things serious, yada, yada, yada. Like, he said he was gonna, control and bring gold and all this stuff to the Judgment Day, but he's over here worried about all the wrong things. So, as Liv said, go make your own moment. We see Balor interrupt Punk during his promo. Now, what's interesting is Punk gave him a shot. The same night. Balor, of course, delayed it. I feel like anytime Balor tries to play by his own time and rules, Finn Balor, when has that ever worked for you? I'm just very confused. My guy, that's never worked for you. Don't play by your own rules. Maybe it's time to just be spontaneous, Balor. Anyways, do I expect Balor to win next week? Hell no. I do not think he's going to be beating Punk at all. I believe this is going to be leading to a Finn Balor face turn. At some point soon, I think Balor is going to be the one who's not going to have any type of gold. And because the way he has really kind of gone around and acted like a leader for quite some time, I think it's going to rub the Judgment Day the wrong way. And that is going to lead to Balor turning face again. I think I'm not the only one waiting for him to turn face. I think the whole Judgment Day with Balor situation has been way done so. Let's get him out of there. Let's get him in the ring and moving. Like, we don't even see Balor like that. At least we know that he can put on some marquee and great matchups. So why don't we take advantage of that? You know what I mean? I don't understand what's the point of not having him involved, right? In my opinion, it's very, very confusing. I don't know what's going on with Balor. Hopefully his stuff does get resolved sooner rather than later. But I don't know. Again, I'm gonna say it again. I don't know. Balor's definitely not winning next week. I do not see him winning. Another person who I do not honestly see winning her IC title back is Maxine. I know she faces Becky Lynch. They're running it back. I just don't know if I see Becky losing that title again to Maxine from interference or from some other situation. I just don't see it. I think the reason they gave Becky the title back was simple enough is because they want Becky to hold that title and make it still kind of super hot and popular in that sense, right? I think that's definitely the goal. I don't know what SmackDown's still doing with their U.S. Women's title. Good luck to them, honestly, over there. And I don't know. I think things are going very, very weird in WWE lately. I believe that one thing that's kind of interesting that happened was, well, Adam Pierce, he kept telling Paul Heyman all night, yo, if Braun Breaker shows up, you better keep him in check. You better keep him in check. Of course, during the Visions tag team match, Braun Breaker showed up. He attacked Penta. He attacked Dragon Lee for obviously interfering in his matchup last week on Raw. And Adam Pierce was heated. He was like, yo, what are you doing? This and that. Suspended Braun Breaker indefinitely. That was before Adam Pierce actually did get physical with Breaker. Braun threw Pierce into the corner. Before that, as Paul Heyman said, technically Adam Pierce put his hands on Braun first. So I wonder if now that's going to be a story. And are they teasing a potential Adam Pierce and Braun Breaker matchup? I don't know. Is that what that tease was supposed to show? Because Adam Pierce was heated on Raw, man. I thought he was gonna take away Braun Breaker's Royal Rumble spot, to be honest with you. But he suspended him indefinitely. Possibly the suspension means that he's not going to be at the Rumble. Hey, I guess he just got himself taken out. And if he's not at the Rumble, I think that is going to get him more mad and upset with Adam Pierce, which will lead to Adam Pierce versus Braun Breaker at WrestleMania. I'm not going to say I am going to confirm this. However, that is going to be my early big prediction for a Mania matchup, just from what I've seen tonight on Raw. Very, very interesting. I think things were going a little heated on Raw. The pacing was not too bad, in my opinion. However, man, it feels like 2026. We're in the same roller coaster of Raw and SmackDown. We got to get things changed up. I do like that they changed up the whole, of course, Cody Rhodes losing. Surprise, McIntyre's actually champ. I think that was a great move. Nothing wrong with that. And to wrap things up, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys as usual. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe and like as usual. Thanks. I'll talk to you guys next week.